big new thing that criminals have figured out how to do is to personalize attacks. Some of them even say, hey, I went to high school with you, because they can find out where you went to high school, because they look on your Facebook page, and send you an email that says, look at pictures of my kids now. Next thing you know, you've got a virus. So you'll be very, very skeptical about the things you get that you don't expect. Well, one thing about antivirus software, it's a paradox in a way. Everyone should have it, everyone should keep it updated, but people should know it doesn't work. There's an amazing body of research around the fact that companies that take really good care of their email and their servers don't just use one antivirus product, they often use several. The folks who use computers should realize that they need the protection and they do need to pay for it and get it and keep it updated, but that it's not foolproof by any measure. The bad guys are out there creating more viruses and more vulnerabilities than they ever have before by an order of magnitude that's incredible. A lot of folks will tell you, I think rightly so, the best antivirus software is a backup hard drive, because it's going to happen. And when it happens, you want to make sure you can recover from it. So I think one really good frame of mind is to be skeptical, but also know your number will probably come, and when it does, hopefully you can minimize the damage. Well, the risks with online banking, I actually think, have gotten a little bit more moderate since 4 or 5 years ago. Banks have clearly done a lot of things to try to make it safer, from the kind of gimmicky, here's a picture of a teapot or a flower, do you recognize it? Go ahead and do your online banking, to some of the more serious efforts we've seen companies like ING Direct make people hand enter a PIN code with a mouse, or ask people where they went to high school, those sorts of questions. This two-factor authentication, which has gotten about halfway there, that has helped people feel a lot safer, for good reason. They are safer. And there's also a lot of consumer protections in place, and I think both industry, the banks, and the consumers are a lot more aware of what those protections are. If you're hit with a crime, if someone drains your bank account, the most important thing is that you tell the bank quickly, so that the bank has a chance to stop the money before it leaves the country, and so that you can invoke your consumer rights. You're much better off looking at your online bank account every few days, or every day, I think, than you were waiting for a month for the statement to come from the bank. So I think online banking, for the most part, has been a good thing for consumers. It's just not, it's not 100% good. There's things to worry about too. The bad guys have come out in a big way on social networking sites like Facebook. So there's all sorts of stories about Facebook accounts being hijacked, and people are sending, imposters sending notes to friends asking for money, and there are computer viruses and other tools that the criminals are using now on Facebook, and there aren't quite yet the software tools to protect people or the know-how among consumers to keep themselves safe. My big concern, even more than hackers and criminals, is privacy. People just, for whatever reason, do not understand when they put things on social networking sites that they're there forever. The internet lives on, and even if you remove them, even if you try to delete them, it's probably true that they're cached somewhere. The company has it, somebody else has it, and you just never know when you're 19 what you might not want someone to know about you when you're 29 or 39. Cybersecurity reform, as it evolves, if it evolves correctly, in my opinion, it will be a lot more proactive on the part of industry groups and government. I mean, we've had this pattern now for so long, where new technology is thrown out on people. They use it, they love it, criminals discover it, people are taken advantage of, and then very slowly, after months and months, sometimes years, companies get wise to security issues and governments issue regulations. And we should stop being surprised by this. It's time, I think, that we use some new models, and one model to consider would be something like the Consumer Product Safety Commission, which, when it's working well, actually gets out ahead of issues like this. So you can't sell a toaster that's going to burn someone's house down. That toaster's already been checked by both the private group and by industry to make sure that it's basically safe by normal standards. We don't do anything like that in the world of technology today, and we really should. I realize that there are issues, especially in the fast-moving world of software and hardware. We don't want to stifle innovation, but at the same time, it's time that we stopped being surprised every time a new technology is abused by bad guys and hurts people. And some simple changes, I think, would make a big difference, and that's where we need to head if we're going to get this right going forward.